I benefited from the slavery, whereas you like you kind of worked for us. Like, where you probably worked. You think you're more of an indoor guy or outdoor guy?
I don't know what you mean by that.
You don't understand what I'm saying? Like, are you an indoor or outdoor?
Before we get this thing started, viewer discretion is advised. This is going to get diabolical, vivid imagery that's going to pump into your brain, as well as a crazy type of wordplay that's going to be happening. So I would advise that this is for mature audiences only, and I'm very curious to hear your thoughts and your opinions. Here's a little backstory. I was doing a live stream, and as I'm doing a live stream, I'm adding people up so they can have conversation with me. This guy jumps into there, and you'll figure out the details on who he is and where he is. He's American, and he just wanted to go on a little racist rampage, but he didn't know that he was hanging out with the man with the master plan, the smooth operator. So you're gonna watch how I handle this. I'm very curious on your thoughts and your opinions on how you think I handled it, or if I could have did it better, on what your thoughts on what I could have said differently throughout this particular interaction. A lot of people watch me when I'm interacting with Europeans. Well, let's see how it happens when I'm interacting with an American. Here we go. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. My name is AdonisCrashBoom from New York City, but I'm in Europe right now. Let's get it started. Here we go. Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Yeah. So I had a question for you. So you're African American, right?
You from UK?
Nah,
Where you from?
States.
You from the States?
Yeah.
That's your profile picture?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had a question for you.
You're white or black?
I'm mixed.
What are you?
I'm both black and white.
What state you from?
Dallas. I'm from Texas.
Dallas to Texas. All right, cool. Go ahead.
So what's your like? Cause I'm tired of hearing like the Black Americans saying like they're samurais and they're like they're like kings and Egyptians and Israelites. Like, what's the confusion with Black Americans? Like, is it because they have no culture?
Well, you started the conversation saying you're tired of hearing. Then don't interact in the conversation. What's the point of being understanding if you're tired of the conversation?
No, it's just cringe. I think it's cringe because you guys claim to be like all these different type of ethnicities. Like, bro, claim your own
Then just
culture.
swipe
Like,
away.
so what are
You
you?
can't say you guys. That's like you can't marginalize everybody into a particular situation. You're not speaking to you guys. You're speaking to me.
So what are you like? Are you like a samurai or are you like a like what are you like Egyptian or Israelite or Viking maybe?
No, I'm an American. That's
American
it.
like oh so you're not like one of the delusional ones. Okay, that's all I wanted to hear. I appreciate you though. But I was just confused because a lot of black people they don't know their culture. Like they don't know like they be claiming anything to be honest.
No, I understand how you feel. Is that all?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. So you're just American, just flat out American.
Yeah.
Like what makes you an American? Just being born there or
Well, my lineage has been in America before America was founded in 1776. So I think I'm like the most purest of American it can be at this point. Like
so when you say America, because there's a lot of white Americans, black Americans, there's the Native Americans. So
white American is a social constructed term. You mean European Americans to be exact, right?
same thing.
Yeah. But yeah, But regardless of that, like what are you? What do you consider yourself?
Me, I consider myself mulatto.
A mulatto American?
Yeah, I'll say
What's your
mulatto
ethnic
American.
background?
So I got a little bit of German, a little bit of English. I got a slight little bit of Cape Verde.
So where's the black?
Yeah, I got a little bit of like I got a little bit of you know where Burkina Faso is?
No, educate me.
It's in West Africa, so I got a little bit of that. So
And what is your mother? Your mother's white or your father's what it was it like?
no, both my mom and dad is both white. My grandparents has like half Burkina
Can
Faso,
I ask you a
half
question?
white. Yeah.
What's your fascination with black people? Like, are you like secretly like intrigued? I don't understand. Like, what's the interest into black people? I, it's like
Well, I thought it was a part of the community.
you thought you was a part of the community.
Yeah, I can't speak about like my people or
You think that these are your people. You said that delusional ones. You said most black people are this. So you have a derogatory perspective against your people that you're trying to associate yourself with, correct? Based on what you're
yeah,
saying.
like when I'm in work, like when I go to work, I see a lot of black people claiming stuff that they're not. So I just wanted clarification. That's it.
But you speak as if they're not your people, but you say you want to associate with your people. Like you said, a lot of black people. Would you consider yourself black?
Yeah, I consider myself partially black, partially I'll say.
So why do you call them like black people? Why don't you say us? You said you're not one of the delusional ones. Like
But
you,
I'm not fully black. Like I don't
you've
have
ever heard of
like
the one drop rule?
I have heard of it, yeah.
So if
But the one
America,
drop rule was created by white Americans that
yeah, so
to
technically they'll be looking at you as right as black, right?
yeah, but I'm not like black like you. Like you're like fully like yeah, like you're like a
But
hunter
based off what you
gatherer.
said, like based on what you said, the Aryan Brotherhood wouldn't agree with that. The
No, but like
KKK
there's a
wouldn't agree with that. They'll look at the
I
one drop rule.
I told you I'm like a mulatto. You're like a hunter. You know what a hunter gatherer is?
Yeah, nomadic person.
Like that's where you like your descendant come from, like from West Africa, right? Like, I'm assuming.
That's what you believe?
Well, you're from West Africa. You're West African descent, right? You came from America like 400 or 500 years ago.
Did I say that?
Well, the history says that.
Whose history? Because everybody's lineage is completely different, correct?
So wait, you think you just spawned it on like in America? You don't think like you don't believe you were brought like in shackles?
Did I say that?
Well, that's history. Everyone knows that.
No, that's not history. Everyone's lineage is completely different. Like
So
you
where'd
said,
you
you
come?
came from Germany, you came from Verde, right? You have a completely different, you have multiple different lineages inside you, correct? So the journeys are
Yeah,
completely different, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So at this point, like, you can generalize a whole demographic of people, but that would be disingenuous for what? Everybody has genealogy where you could trace back to exactly where your particular lineage is up to of the documentation. So I don't know. Like, I don't
So
know. At
how
this
can
moment in
black?
time, but my question to you is like, what's your fascination with black people? Like, are you like secretly like
I
obsessed? Like,
told you.
I don't understand. Like, what's the thing? I don't like get like you could be driving four wheelers and like getting bitches, but you focus on black people.
I told you I'm partially black. Obviously,
Yeah,
from my
but like
grandfather's
you
side,
don't even
right?
identify with black people.
No, I do. I do. I'm just not fully black. I just wanted to know your thoughts on when you say genealogy, right?
Mhm.
Like, why do black people talk about genealogy? They barely know their dad.
They barely know what.
They barely know their dad. If they can't even tell me their grandfather's name, how can they trace back hundreds of years? That's crazy.
You think I don't know my dad?
Not you. You might be an exception, but majority of black people, yeah.
What do you mean? Every black person I met knows their dad.
Like they know their dad's like first and last name.
Yeah, every man has their father's last name.
Yeah, but I'm saying like majority of them, like you've heard of like the 70% of Black Americans don't have a father, right? So
You're
my
from
my question
Texas,
is,
right?
yeah, I'm
You're
from
from the
Texas.
South, right?
Yeah.
So should I assume that you sleep with your brothers and sisters because you're from the South?
Well, that would be a fair assumption because it might be true.
So are you pushing to that you're inbred or some type of
No, 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 no. But stereotypes do exist for a reason, right? So if you do
nah,
believe that,
stereotypes are just based off of ignorance. It's not a realistic situation.
so you're telling me black people could trace back their lineage 100 years, 200 years?
Yeah, 100 years is easy. 100 years is easy. You don't
So
even
what's
need
your
to. You don't even need to look for it. Like that's like your great grandmother. That's easy.
so okay? So
Hold
what's
on,
your last
bro.
name?
Hold on. Hold on. Hold
Like
on. Hold on.
Johnson
Hold
or
on. Hold
what's
on.
your last
Hold on.
name? Jones?
Hold on. Hold on. You do know what 100 years looks like right now, right? Like a
Yeah,
hundred
that would
years from
be
now, do you know what 100 years from this date will look like? What date? What day is that? What year is that? Do you know what that is?
1925.
That's hard.
For black people, yeah.
Okay, no problem. And you said you're from Texas.
Yeah, I'm from Dallas. Yeah,
How old are you?
I'm 39.
Fuck yeah, shit. Shit, I guess I gotta agree with the Europeans. The education system is fucked you, bro. I'm keep it real.
Everything I
Shit.
said, everything I said was factual. You
No, there
couldn't
was
really
nothing that
refute
you said
anything.
was factual. You said that most black people don't know their fathers, and I know a whole bunch of black people who know their fathers. And then you say
But
you,
you're yeah, you're middle class though. Like you're from the middle class area. I'm assuming the way you
I,
talk, the way you dress, right? But if you go to
no,
like the
I
hood,
didn't
like
grow up in.
if you go to the hood, right? Obviously, a lot of them don't have fathers. You're
That's
an
not
exception.
true.
I
I
already
grew up
told
in.
you.
hold on. The stereotype, let me just clarify something because you need to understand the facts within that. The stereotype that black men don't know who their father is came in the 90s to the 80s when, well, 70s to 80s when the CIA pumped a whole bunch of drugs into black communities and got them all hooked onto drugs. And then the US government put a war on drugs and started capturing black men and throwing them into jail, which the stereotype came, black men don't know who their fathers are because all the black men were in jail while the mothers were by themselves. And then the government incentivized black women to have single parent households so they could get a quick apartment. So that stereotype is not backed by facts. It's just backed by a running joke. That's just the facts of it all. If you knew history itself as an American, which you claim to be at this moment in time from Texas, it's very embarrassing the fact that you can even say this because that means that you didn't do your due diligence to understand what the U.S. government, and you're being from Texas, if you're from Texas, you would know how impactful the U.S. government is on a federal level with its people. You know, Texas is one of the fracking countries, one of the fracking states of the U.S., the most fracking states, right?
Yeah,
And when you sit down and say that, like, oh, I'm middle class. No, I came from the hood. I was born in Brooklyn, raised in the Bronx. And I grew up to be just like this. So this particular type of stereotype or this particular type of situation is baffling to me because at this moment in time, I don't know if you're trolling or if you actually have this weak of an education that you don't know these things. And I think it's basic knowledge. I don't even think it's like, you know, anybody with a high school diploma or a high school degree could put one and two together, especially if they care about, do you care about your country?
I do.
As a Texan, I would hope you do because I like Texas. I'm thinking about even moving out there. I like Texas. I like your laws, and I like that Texas is one of the most, I would say, one of the most respectful countries or states,
Appreciate it.
states
Appreciate it.
in the United States for real. Yeah. So I don't know, coming from like your background is saddening to hear this because normal Texas people I speak to, they're true patriots, 100% patriots. So you're the first person from Texas I've ever heard say this. I was like, what? That didn't make sense.
No, but I work with some black people. Like some of them are like my employees, right? So with them is like I've hired a couple of them, and their last names don't even match up. It's some of their last names Johnson, Jones, and
Are you hiring immigrants or Black Americans?
I hired some black Americans.
See, that's the difference. A lot of Black Americans, not that many Black Americans. Well, there's a little bit of Texas Black Americans. I'm not gonna front, but a lot of you guys hire a lot of immigrants that come in through that want. You know, you said they're your employees, right?
I hire all ethnicities, but I'm just saying their last name doesn't match up to their face sometimes, and you still say to them, "Oh wow, they still have their slave name."
Yeah, because slavery wasn't too long ago. You should know this.
So but if they're the property of Johnson or Jones or whatever the last name case may be, that means that they stripped their identity, right? So how are you able to trace back hundreds of years if you don't even know your identity
Because in
as a
the
black American?
1700s, it's okay. I could just educate you real quick. In the
Yeah, sure.
1700s, the United States held the census after the war, the Revolutionary War with the United Kingdoms. At that particular time, they started documenting every single person that was in America. It was in 1776 where we first started documenting people in America. So
No, but how? Yeah.
America, just so you know, America is one of the only countries that has a lot of documentation on the people that were here. 1865, you could say that, yeah, 1865 and 1790 as well.
No,
But
but why couldn't you
America,
change the? Why couldn't you just change the last name like Malcolm X? Like he made his last name X. He said he like removed the last name. I thought that was pretty cool.
no,
And I feel like
that's a social choice. Even the term, the last name, first names, those are all social constructs that we use to identify each person. It's really irrelevant at the end of the day, right?
oh, you don't think it's relevant that a black guy has the Scottish name like Burns or something like that, or like your name is like pretty like Adonis. That's pretty masculine. But if I had to guess your last name, it wouldn't match. Black first name, last name, Irish or Scottish. Are you like, whoa, this guy still has a slave name? 2025, like, come on.
So what? Like at the end of the day, when it comes down, it's used to identify a particular person. It's not really used to show any type of
No,
social
it's used
status or
as
anything.
property. You're the property of Burns. You're the property of Jones, Johnson.
So
You're
what's
still the
your last
property.
name?
Like, say again.
What's your last
I'm
name?
using the example. My last name is Johnson. I'm using the Johnson
Yeah, so
example.
if you said you have black in you, then are you the property of the Johnson estate?
Partial. No, no, but that's different. That's different.
No, it's not. You said that you got some black in you, so you must be property of the Johnson estate. You still
No, but
got your
no,
slave last name because Johnson is definitely a slave last name.
no. Johnson is a European name. I'm European.
Johnson is a slave last name. I'm letting you know that right now. I'm 100% certain of that.
When I took my DNA testing, it said 3%. West African. So I'm just
So
I
that
don't
means
think
that
that.
you got some slave in you. You got your slave last name. Are you going to change it to
No,
Whitworth?
no, that's different. That just means my great granddad probably had sex with a black slave woman. That's it. Or probably.
That means that for you to have that DNA, that means that you had to be coming. The person that had sex had to come out of that black slave person, and it came to being into you.
Yeah, but
If
that's
you
like
have West
long.
African, listen, that's how DNA works. If you have West African in you, and you said that your great great grandfather slept with a slave, the baby was born. They had another baby, another baby, another baby, another baby, and then it ended up
Yeah,
being you. So you are
yeah, but
part of
it,
the Johnson estate.
no, but it
That's how
got
it works.
diluted. You know what diluted means? Like I'm not even like it got
Yes,
diluted.
yes, you got. Hold on, listen. You have to understand, yes, if that's the case, that means that you are part of the slave trade itself. You do understand that. If you have West African in
Wait,
your blood,
so is it
you
my fault that my
you
great grandfather was horny and wanted to rape a little black slave woman?
but if that's the case, that means that you are the child, the spawn of that, well, the third or fourth generation of that black woman.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll take a little bit of black. You guys got a
So
little good in you.
stop saying your great great. No, your great great granddaddy raped one of your great great grandmothers. That's what you're saying right now.
Uh,
Checkmate.
yeah, she's technically my great grandma, but it's like, bro,
Yeah, all right. So I'm just letting you know. So when you sit down and talk that shit, just know that you're talking about yourself.
no. But at the end of the day, I'm a slave, and I'm a slave. Like we're slave owners, and you're a
No, you're
slave.
a slave. There's no
No,
you could manipulate yourself with what you want, but if you got West African inside of your blood, you're a slave.
no,
You're not pure white. You can act
no, but
like it. It can make you could look in the mirror and it sounds
no one.
great.
Yeah, no, but no one is pure white. Everyone has some type of it traces back to Africa at the end of the day. Whether it's 1%, 3%, 5%, no one's pure white. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
but
saying?
based off the DNA status of what you said your great great grandfather possibly had sex with a slave, and then now a baby form. You was a part of that gene of that lineage of that slave. So it's not your great great grandfather. No, your great great grandmother got her cheeks clapped, and you the child that spawned out of it after 2 or 3 generations.
Not
You're
two or
part
three,
of
like
you're
probably like 9 generations. So that's
not no no definitely not nine, bro. You said 100 years. That's about 2 or 3 generations itself, right there. Because if your grandmother or grandfather is 100 years old, if your grandfather makes it to 100, that's 1920s. So go back
yeah.
to that. That's 3 or 4 generations. It's not hard. It's easy
No,
math.
but the black woman I'm talking about, that's my great
No, no,
grand.
no, no,
Like
no. There's not that many grapes.
it goes back
17.
to the 1800s.
Yeah, but even that's still not 9 generations.
Yeah, it is 9 generations. Some of
No,
them
it's
died
not.
early.
100 years. The average human lives to be about 70, 80 years old, maybe even 90 if they push it.
Okay, I'll give you six then. Is six fine?
You can use six, but if that's the case, like you do know, like you're talking about yourself, like you're not. You can paint it in any type of way and try to lean to the white side, but the fact that you have West African inside of your blood shows that you're victimizing yourself and disrespecting your own particular lineage. You can
Not
put it
really.
any type of way you
I
want to make yourself feel happy. But I'm just letting you know.
I I benefited from the slavery, whereas you like you kind of worked for us. Like where you probably worked. You think you're more of an indoor guy or outdoor guy?
I don't know what you mean by that.
You don't understand what I'm saying? Like, are you an indoor or outdoor?
I don't know what you mean by that. To be honest with you, I like to fly across different countries. You in Texas right now, right?
Yes,
Right?
sir.
Have you left the country yet?
I haven't. No, I have. I've been to Mexico.
You pay taxes
I do pay taxes. Yes.
to America?
Yeah, I do.
What's your tax? How much taxes does Texas take from you? You got state
About
tax
40.
too, right?
Yeah, like 40%.
40%. So you're a slave.
No, no, I'm not a slave. No, no.
Yeah, I don't pay 40% taxes and being in Europe. You do.
So how much tax
Forty
do you
percent
pay?
of your look, you work all your time and they take 40%. You only keep 60% and then spend money on bills and rent and all this other stuff that you have to pay for, which takes another 30%. And you only have another 30% left for yourself. You're a slave.
No, but I actually like your money is like fraudulent activity.
My
I make
money is
actual money.
fraudulent activity. How? What's fraudulent
You
about my
make
money?
you make legal money. Like, what do you sell drugs or how do you make your income?
What do you mean? I own a corporation in Europe. I'm a
You own a
YouTuber.
corporation? Are you sure?
Yeah, I think that's what it's called. Yeah, a corporation. That's yeah.
Okay, I'll take your word for it, I guess. I mean,
You could
I
take
mean, if
whoever
you,
words you want from it. At this moment in
I,
time, I'm just wondering where's your intelligence at? Because you struggle to comprehend 100 years. Like, I'm not understanding. But at the same time, look, regardless of that, I would say this. You really need to think of your concept of what you're trying to say. You can't sit down and say, "Oh, well, you're slavery and bring back slavery," when you yourself pay 40% in taxes to the U.S. government. That's
that's fine.
slavery.
I'm American citizen. The fact that you evade taxes shows that you're not even a real true American.
No, the difference between me and you is that any American
You ran
citizen.
away
Hold
from
on,
your
I'm gonna let you
country.
speak. I'm gonna let you speak. The
You ran
difference
from your
between
country.
the difference between me and you is any American citizen that has intelligence understands that we have a tax code, and the tax code is used for you to not pay taxes. But your dumbass has not figured out how to read the tax code, so you're paying 40% to the U.S. government.
How much do you pay, if you don't mind?
Me? I don't
Yeah.
pay anything to the well, actually I pay capital gains tax, but then I'll just write that off. That's
Well,
called business.
it doesn't even matter because all that money's gonna come back to the white community. You're gonna just spend it on jewelry and like art, Tommy Hilfiger, maybe like white owned companies. So at the end of the day, it
I
doesn't really
don't
matter.
wear Tommy Hilfiger and I don't
All the
have
money that
jewelry.
it'll come back right to us. So we don't mind that. You do know 99% of black people's income goes straight to the white community. Like
Well, I
they
don't
don't spend
know.
it on their
It
own.
depends on what you classify as white community because I've been in Europe for about 5 years now. 10 actually, 10 years. But regardless, even if it does go back to the white community, I wouldn't have a problem with it because most of the things I spend money on are investments, assets. So if it does go back to the white community, it also comes back to me. See, that's the difference between me and you. You feel good about yourself, right? Don't you?
You're an exception. You might be like the top echelon of black people. Obviously, I can tell you kind of dress like Carlton. But what I'm trying to say is this: we're talking about the majority of black people, right? The majority of black people at the end of the day, they're not up to they're not up to no good.
I think it's very interesting that you say that, even though Black Americans in general are the leading most richest Black people in the world, as well
That's
as
a
the
lie.
most inspired to be Black people. Beyonce, actual Texan, literally just won a Grammy for Album of the Year, country music itself. So when you make these type of statements and these type of
Yeah,
bullshit,
celebrities.
it makes no sense to me.
That's all black people look up to. Celebrities, artists, musicians. It's actually pretty sad. Like
No, we
where is
have
it?
tons of inventors as well.
No, you guys just like Beyonce. Like is that your best example? Who's next? Michael Jordan, or maybe LeBron
Wow,
James?
wow, that's insane. All right. So you never heard of Madam C.J. Walker, right? You haven't heard of any inventors at all? Like you don't know
I'm talking about modern day. Where you're talking about like 30 years ago, 40.
modern
I'm talking
day
about
Black Americans? You don't know anybody from the modern day that's impacted the world in a significant way through inventions itself? Speaking
no,
about
but
that,
we're
another
talking
thing
about
you said
billionaires,
is you
right?
said celebrities. Hold on. You said celebrities. You said what? I'm going to mention Michael Jordan. That's what you just said?
Or maybe LeBron James.
Michael Jordan, you consider Michael Jordan a celebrity, not a one of the people that not only shaped it and kept Nike, the shoe brand, alive to this day. It's
And
very
who gave him that
interesting how you
opportunity?
pick and choose how you want to associate these people. But we're talking about billionaires right now. That's what we're doing. You're on TikTok talking to me while I'm in London, and we're talking about black billionaires. And
Yeah,
you're
and
acting like these guys are
every single
insignificant to the world when you know that people wear Michael Jordan's shoe on a consistent daily basis. And not only did he keep Nike, the most prevalent brand that represents America to this day, alive, you kind of disregard this. As
But
well as he changed the game of basketball globally.
he's a gambler. He never did anything for the black community. He actually married a white woman too, like most black billionaires.
People
So
can
at the
marry
end,
whoever they want to marry, and gambling is the most American thing there is. You can't sit down and tell me you're a Texan and say that gambling is something to be frowned upon. We've been
no, but we
gambling with our
do
lives since we've been in America. That's the
no, but
game.
he what I'm trying to say is this: we make your celebrities into billionaires. You don't have a billionaire that's like an actual like owner of a company or uh like for like a Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos. It's all athletes and
Elon Musk is
singers,
from South Africa. Just to
maybe
clarify,
Oprah Winfrey.
Oprah Winfrey. What are you trying to say? Oprah
What I'm
Winfrey,
trying
Tyler Perry. These people. Why are you mentioning them?
I'm saying they're all celebrities. Your billionaires are celebrities. There's a difference. We
They're
decided to
people
make
who've
them.
made money off of their face and image and then invested into
Yeah,
proper
and
investments.
who gave them that face and image?
They
So you should
did.
be appreciative.
The
Oh,
people.
sure. Okay.
What do you think that you? So if it's celebrityism is so easy, why aren't you a celebrity?
What I'm trying to say is there's no black American that's a billionaire through without industry related.
That sounds dumb. Without industry related,
So so
you know
so
what?
so give
You
me
are
one
a genius.
give me one
Because
example.
because you're sitting down and you're trying to
Give
frown
me
upon the fact. Hold on, I'm gonna let you speak because this is what is
okay.
processing in my head. You're sitting down and you're trying to frown upon the fact that these Black Americans didn't have to do shit but just show up and be themselves, and then became multimillionaires. But you are thinking that people who have to work and grind their ass off, Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, who do all these different shit, these guys just showed up and it was themselves, and they became billionaires just being
Yeah.
themselves, and that's
No, but
something to
the
be frowned
individual
upon. It's
no, but
crazy.
the individuals I'm talking about are industry plants, obviously, right? I'm saying you guys don't have any
Industry
natural.
plants. So
Yeah, you
Jay
guys don't
Z's
have
an
any.
industry plant.
Yeah, Jay Z used to sell crack to his community, to your people, and now all of a sudden he's a billionaire. Like, come on, and he hasn't done anything for his community. He's a rapper.
He
You're
hasn't done
busy.
anything for his community. Didn't Jay Z like invest or practically create Title?
Oh
Isn't
my
Title
goodness,
to this day giving creators the most money out of residual income than most of all of these platforms? That didn't happen, right?
was he not a former drug dealer, a rapper that decided
Yeah.
to
What's wrong
become?
with that? You have to grind where you have to grind. You come from the streets. He came from nothing and made something. That's the American dream right there, right?
Okay, another rapper. So other than rappers and actors, can you give me
You
another
mentioned
one?
these people. Why are you saying like another? You mentioned these people. You said Tyler Perry. You said Oprah. Oprah started as a weather woman. Actually, she started in a news station and then got to be in her own show, and now she's a multi-billionaire. I'm not understanding how,
Who's
Shay. Make it make sense to me, because
where's
you're
your
implying
black
that I'm
Jeff
upper
Bezos?
echelon at this point, huh?
Where's your black Jeff Bezos? I don't want to hear rappers and musicians and tap dancers. Like, where's your black Jeff Bezos?
Black. Are you a Jeff Bezos?
No, I'm not. I'm not a Jeff Bezos. No,
All right. So, what is the point of this? Why are you? What is your? So, I think. Are you sexually attracted to black men?
no,
What
no.
about white?
I'm
What
very.
about black women? Are you sexually attracted to black women?
Not. No one's really sexually attracted to black women, to be honest.
So you're not sexually attracted
No, why is everything sexual with you guys? I don't
because you
understand. You guys
have
are
to have
very
some type
horny.
of interest in black people. Is it because you've never been accepted? You've never been invited to the cookout? Is that the reason why you behaving like this?
I'd go to a cookout, but I fear shooting. To be
Yeah.
honest with you, I don't want to get shot.
Oh,
So
a
I pass on
Texan?
that.
You must not be from Texas because in Texas they shoot all the
Why?
time.
Because
They're
I don't.
known for it actually. So where are you actually from? Because you don't
No,
sound
but
like a Texan.
shooting civilians is much different than going to the shooting range. Don't you agree?
Shooting civilians is prominent in the white neighborhoods in America. That is a
No, that's
white
the black
culture
community.
thing. No, it's
You sure
not.
about that?
I'm 100% positive about that. Are you?
So when you go to Chicago, because I've been to Chicago before, when you go to Chicago and you see all these young black men dying, do you guys say anything, or you guys just turn on your sexy red, or maybe you
You know,
listen
I
to your
think it's very interesting you mentioned situations.
little
First of
dark?
all, people, violence is a normal thing in human nature itself. But if you want to break it down to Chicago, let's talk about school situations. Because I see that the
Uh,
kids are not. You guys have no type of remorse when it comes down to schools, right? You don't think that's something that you and your community should be thinking about on a prevalent matter. Didn't you think that?
when
Hmm?
you say schools, are you talking about school shootings? You have to clarify what you're saying.
Nah, I don't have to clarify. I think we both understand when it comes down to the safety of children. That's something that you, at this moment in time,
Oh,
seem to be
it's
lacking
a
interest
definitely
in.
no, it's definitely an issue, but it's not much of an issue as the black on black violence.
It's not. No, first of all, there's no such thing as black on black violence. There's violence everywhere. And second of all,
There's no such thing
white
as
people
black on
commit
black
a lot
violence.
more
Wow.
violence and crimes than black people, statistically proven.
Well,
So,
there's
what are
more
your
white
facts
people than
based on?
black
Are you
people.
just watching Fox News and CNN the whole time? Are you just like a Fox News consumer? Do you actually do any research, or you just jump to
No, but
conclusions and assumptions? I'm
we're
just
talking
curious.
we're talking about per capita. You guys commit the most crimes.
That's
You guys
not
lead.
true.
No, that is definitely true.
No, it's not. Where
You,
are you basing your facts off? Give me statistics that you're basing this off of. Because there's a
you
difference
never
between
heard of the
things, huh?
what about you never heard of the 13 and 60 rule? Like I'm not like I don't hate black. I love black people.
Like,
I
I'm
just
not
want to.
saying you hate nothing. I don't think that you hate anybody. I think that you're very, very ignorant, and you've actually met somebody who actually understands exactly what they're talking about. You thought you was
Because
gonna come up here and say a couple things that might trigger me, but to be honest with you, there's not much you
no,
can
but
say to me that would trigger me. I was born in New York, and plus, yeah, I went to public school. So,
no, I'm not trying to trigger you. You're one of the good ones.
nah,
I'm not
actually, I
trying to.
think you're one of the good ones. What do you do for a living again?
I do a lot.
Now tell me, what are you good at?
So I do a little bit of landscaping. I'm an entrepreneur. I
What
do a
is your
lot.
entrepreneurship?
I can't tell you that on live.
You
Sorry,
can't.
because I feel like because
I think I know what it
the
comes to. I
cancel
know
like
exactly what type of entrepreneur. You
the,
seem like the type of guy that's blowing dick on OnlyFans. I don't know. That's just my perspective. But hey, I'm just saying, gang. I'm just saying, gang. We gotta get it going. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. He thought he was gonna get it. We know he was gonna get it, but he wasn't. He thought he had it. You fuck with the wrong one. Big man things. You know about us. We play it. I'm sorry. We sick of gang shit. You ain't gang with who you gang with. Let's go. Yo, so what are your thoughts on that particular interaction? Homeboy just couldn't keep it together, and I felt like after being so calm and chill throughout that whole interaction, I might as well reciprocate the energy towards the end. He was waffling. He didn't know who he was talking about. He thought he was gonna catch one over. He tried to even hit me with the whole you're a good one. No, actually, you're a good one. You're a very uneducated particular person that I think I will wrap circles around. You obviously don't know who you're dealing with. You obviously don't know who you're dealing with, all right? You think that you watch television and Fox News and all these different types of stuff. You think you have an understanding of black people? Oh, well, you met the right one today, my guy, all right? Matter of fact, no, I'm probably the only black person you've actually interacted with, because any black person that comes from where I come from would have easily wrapped circles around you. Can I get an amen? You are not something to be worried about, my guy. Just understand that the people that you are trying to represent on the global scale are nowhere near the type of person that you are. There's a classism, and you are not at the top pair of the classism, my guy. You couldn't even make a simple educated statement with any type of facts or anything, and you think that, oh, I was just trolling. No, you weren't trolling. You actually believe some of the stuff you do deep down in your heart, because trolls secretly believe what they're trying to say deep down in their heart, and you was really going for it. We was on the chat for about 30 minutes and you was blah, blah, blah. Do better, my guy. This is a new day. These are new children. We are not our ancestors. We're moving in a different way and a different approach. The last generation before us already stood on business. Now we just came with a different type of approach of handling you guys, and you don't even know what's about to come. Imagine what's going to happen with the next generation, knowing that black women are the most educated people in America. The graduation rate for black women has, I think, it's the highest graduation rate there is when it comes down to like graduations in general, right? So when it comes, so when you make these statements, just know that the generation that comes after me, big fella, is going to be even more intellectually sound than me, more on top of what they're doing. And definitely, you came at the right time because it was Black History Month. I just wanted to show you how we get down. And no hate to any other light-skinned Caucasian people. This is not about you. I know some of you guys are educated and cool and rounded, but, and I'm going to say, he doesn't represent you guys, 100%. But any chance that we get to have an intellectual conversation with one of these buffoons, we will sit down and properly do our due diligence. For everybody else who was in wow or in shock about my vulgar behavior or language, I'm so sorry. I just felt like it was time to reciprocate a little bit of energy. And yeah, it was a little bit petty, but there's no hating out of it. It's ignorant people from all races, all ethnic groups and stuff like that. So, it's fine. Anyway, please don't forget to like the video, comment in the chat, tell me your thoughts and your opinion, and rate that experience out of a 0 out of a 10. Even if you don't like to comment and you just like to watch and just enjoy it as it is, I'm okay with that. All I ask is that you tell me your opinions while watching it when it's in your head, and leave your thoughts and comments down below. My name's AdonisCrashBoom. You guys are watching Adonis Live, and if you're watching this on the TV, click the 3 dots on the side of your screen to subscribe to the channel. It would truly do appreciate it. Let's make it a movie. Let's get it.